What have I done? What have I done? Ooh, my makeup's a little smudged.
The role of the Joker is one that has collected a great deal of infamy over the years. Many have described playing the character as being something that can cause an immense amount of mental strain on the actor. Heath Ledger's tragic passing being a prime example of this. Jack Nicholson, who also played the Joker, famously exclaimed that he had warned Heath Ledger about taking the role upon hearing of Ledger's passing. On the internet, many have personally taken on the Joker persona for their own content, and almost all have taken on the level of infamy befitting the character. Today, we will be discussing one of the most crazy and drama-filled instances of this strange phenomenon. This is the story of the Santa Cruz Joker.
Well, I'm Harlan. I'm known as the Santa Cruz Joker, and I'm sure a lot of you out there know exactly who I am, and you think you know what I'm about.
Harlan, aka the Santa Cruz Joker, is an internet content creator with a small cult following. Although his most popular internet personality is the Santa Cruz Joker, our story starts long before the inception of this character. In the mid to late 2010s, internet culture was defined by edgy commentary channels centered around pushing the envelope on offensive comedy. These channels were often hosted by a hyperbolic shock jock personality. Filthy Frank, iDubbbz, Leafy is Here, and many more. Harlan's online presence was no exception, donning the character of Lunatic Leonard, which acted as a precursor to his Joker personality. Lunatic Leonard was pretty run-of-the-mill stuff for this time on YouTube. Offensive humor, rebellious personality, and a gravitation toward drama.
And to the rest of you, suck my I am Lunatic Leonard!
Although his channel never garnered much attention, one of the most notable moments in the Lunatic Leonard era was when he was featured briefly on popular YouTuber I Hate Everything's channel. Harlan's stint as Lunatic Leonard offered a lot of dark foreshadowing for the trends he would face as the Joker. Harlan had a proclivity to angrily respond to all forms of criticism and confrontation, whether in real life or on the internet.
You see, the difference between me and Heath Ledger is I'm a drug addict, and I'm alive, and crazy. Unlike him, who is crazy, drug addict, and then dead.
Occasionally, his responses to criticism would include violent threats, which is something he would continue to do as the Santa Cruz Joker. He was also not very good at keeping his personal struggles off of YouTube and his live streams. This behavior attracted a lot of trolls hellbent on getting a public reaction out of him. One of the most infamous examples of this is during a live stream in which his neighbor accidentally overflowed his sink, prompting a heated argument between the two.
Because the bag next door turned on his Jesus Christ, like what an idiot, what an ass. I have to put up with his loud infomercials every day, and now he flooded my apartment! Ass!
You know, I don't know what you did, man, but you got the sink so up.
You did! You backed it up, man!
That's a goddamn thing, you son of a You I'm going downstairs.
Go downstairs! I've complained about your noise 100 times!
Oh, you
Keep your damn TV!
well, move, mother.
During all of this, one of his most notable trolls, Dylan, is ridiculing Harlan in the livestream chat. Before his confrontation with his neighbor, and directly after, Harlan can be heard heatedly debating with Dylan.
Dude, you are so wrong. Oh, dude, I don't give a shit what you think. Hey, guess what? Off.
I don't give a if you think I'm wrong! You can suck my dick!
This pattern of responding to trolls would only heighten as time went on, and he repeatedly made videos addressing Dylan, despite just being a random troll in his comment section.
Listen, little boy, there is no feud. There's just you and your autistic obsessive-compulsive disorder. That's it.
This beef would carry on long after his time as Lunatic Leonard, as Harlan generally had a hard time letting go of conflict. A very repetitive motif in Harlan's online personality is angrily responding to the people he should simply ignore, which only caused more problems as time went on. Another important aspect of Lunatic Leonard's identity is his constant expression of left-leaning political views. He would obsessively criticize Trump and other conservatives. This would be a pretty unremarkable aspect of his content if it wasn't for the fact that Harlan had a habit of saying extremely offensive things in his videos, which trolls would often call him out as a hypocrite for.
I'm the psycho of YouTube! I'm Lunatic Leonard! That's why! That's why nobody's with me! And that's why I don't fear little like Dylan!
As Lunatic Leonard's popularity plateaued, Harlan wanted more out of his content. Deciding he needed to make a change, he finally decided to take on the role of the Santa Cruz Joker, and he had no idea what chaos awaited him. The Santa Cruz Joker was a very similar character to Lunatic Leonard, the only notable difference being that he would now dress as the Joker in his videos and live streams. In the beginning, things weren't so bad. Although there was the omnipresent trolling occurring online, Harlan saw more popularity due to the spectacle of seeing a man live his life pretending to be the Joker. Harlan would continue to make commentary content, although he would now venture into the city of Santa Cruz dressed as the Joker, making friends and enjoying the nightlife. Two of Harlan's new friends were men by the name of Driftwood and Igglybuff, which I'm just going to call him Michael from this point on because I don't feel like saying Igglybuff every time I mention him. The three friends would hit the town together, and Harlan would occasionally livestream their hijinks. Although this friendship was innocent enough at the time, it would quickly unravel into turmoil. One night while out on the town in Santa Cruz, Joker was kicked out of a bar. Harlan maintains that he was kicked out because he was drinking out of a personal flask, which the bartenders did not appreciate. Despite this, there have been allegations made against Joker that he was really kicked out due to trying to slip something into a woman's drink. I think it's in my best legal interest not to comment on the validity of these claims since they were never proven in a court of law. There's only one video of him that night, which just shows him standing at the bar, so there's no conclusive evidence as to what really occurred. Regardless of whether these allegations are true or not, they did start a chain reaction of chaos for the Joker. The allegations were popularized by a man named Jesse, who hosts the podcast Pod Awful.
Whoa, hang on a second. Is the Santa Cruz Joker actually attempting to make his Breadening video cool? Is he trying to rewrite history and make it look like he won the fight?
Jesse had already been regularly covering the Santa Cruz Joker for a few weeks, and will become a pretty regularly occurring antagonist of Harlan's. After Harlan's two friends, Driftwood and Michael, heard the allegations, they decided to stop associating with him. This caused a very messy feud between Harlan and the two. For weeks, Harlan would go back and forth with them over the internet. Harlan made a video accusing them of being racist, while the two would insult him and say that he had tried to drug a woman at the bar that night. As a way of dissing Harlan, the two began going out in the town dressed as the Joker and Harley Quinn. Although this feud had largely consisted of insults over the internet, it would soon come to a head in catastrophic and violent fashion, in an event that many refer to as the Breadening. After the beef had been building up for weeks, Joker decided he needed to finally confront Driftwood about it. On February 23rd, 2020, the Santa Cruz Joker began a live stream. The full stream is archived on the internet, and I highly recommend you give it a watch, because it is genuine cinema. The stream opens with a 2-minute musical performance from the Joker. As the camera pans toward him, Joker sings about the tragedy of his lost friendship.
What have I done? How could I be so blind?
As his musical number comes to a close, he wrathfully whispers Driftwood.
Driftwood.
Before setting out to find his friend turned enemy. On his way to confront Driftwood, Joker talks about a bunch of random topics, but reasserts that he is innocent of the allegations made against him. Although it is misguided, in hindsight, Joker did genuinely seem to believe that this would be a non-violent exchange in which he could convince his former friend of his side of the story. Also, for some reason, he was equipped with a megaphone. After walking for a while, he finally finds Driftwood, and things begin to escalate. The two yell at each other for a while, although Driftwood is completely disinterested in listening to Joker's side of the story. Driftwood claims that he got a message stating that the Joker wants to stab him and assault his mother. During the argument, a man begins playing a banjo nearby. The cameraman gravitates towards the banjo player for a little while, which unknowingly serves as foreshadowing. Remember what he looks like, because he will play a critical role later on. After about 10 minutes of arguing and threatening each other, It seems as though the former friends will never make peace. Out of nowhere, a man arrives and offers the Joker a loaf of bread. After Joker turns it down, the man offers it to one of Driftwood's friends, who accepts it. Immediately, Driftwood's friend throws the loaf of bread at the Joker's face. Joker takes a moment to collect himself, stunned, before returning fire by pepper spraying Driftwood and his friend. Although his eyes and face are most likely burning, Driftwood is undeterred and throws a punch at Joker.
He just maced them for no reason.
Oh, he threw a piece of bread.
Driftwood wrestles him to the ground and then walks away because his eyes are burning. Joker stumbles to his feet and yells, "Is that it?" at Driftwood before walking away.
That's it, isn't it? That's it, isn't it?
It seems like the violence is over, and Joker sort of brushes off the exchange as being nothing. Joker walks a few blocks and collects himself, talking about what has just occurred. Out of nowhere, a familiar character arrives on the scene. A voice in the distance exclaims, "You maced my friend," before violently entering the frame by battering Joker.
Hey, you maced two my homies, bro.
I told you to keep an eye out for him. It's the Banjo Man, seeking revenge for Driftwood. Similarly to the first fight, the two kind of just clinch with each other for a while before Joker is eventually thrown to the ground. The stream ends with little else happening, although Harlan does exclaim that he's taken quite a few knocks to the head that night. Although I would consider the Breadening to be the height of the Joker's troubles, there continued to be many incidents in the following years. Trolls, largely led by Pod Awful, began sending an immense amount of bread to Harlan's residence as a way to poke fun at him for the Breadening. Harlan took the bread bombing in stride on video, often pointing out how trolls were spending exorbitant time and money just to send him bread as a dumb joke. Although he generally brushed it off on video, he did make quite a few posts to his community page on YouTube, where he seemed a little bit more angry about it. Harlan also made a response to the Drunken Peasants podcast, who had covered the Breadening and sided with Pod Awful about it.
But I like bread. And by the way, that guy who threw bread in my face, I immediately maced him in the face. So.
Other miscellaneous events that occurred after the Breadening was the emergence of the Santa Cruz Batman. His whole shtick was publishing allegations against Harlan, of him saying some unsavory things to minors over Instagram DMs. I am once again going to avoid making comment on the validity of these allegations because although there are screenshots, they could have been doctored, and I don't really want to get sued over that. I recommend doing your own research and coming to your own conclusions. Pod Awful also commissioned a cameo from To Catch a Predator's Chris Hansen, which were prompted by the allegations that Harlan had received.
That's right over there. I'm well aware of your crimes. I'm Chris Hansen for the Pod Awful cult, and you're in big trouble. Come get it, boys.
Harlan did not react kindly to this and made a YouTube and Twitter response to it. On Twitter, he says that there is no proof of the allegations and that he will take Chris Hansen to court over the video, although this never happened as far as I know. His video response was a bit more lengthy, calling Chris Hansen a coward and generally just getting angry over the incident.
Pod Awful paid him money to call me and another person a pedophile. And now he's deleted any tweet with me responding to it because he's a coward!
There have also been numerous incidents of Harlan getting into it with the youth of Santa Cruz. In one video, he yells at a teenager making fun of him. He claims it happens all the time. All in all, Harlan continued down the path of utter chaos, although the attention from trolls and viewers waned over the years. Currently, there have been some changes to Harlan's online presence, and I do want to highlight some interesting developments. He still uploads under the Santa Cruz Joker username, although he has a wealth of other channels with different aliases that he makes content for. Harlan recently admitted in a video that he has been sober for a few months. He claims that this was due to a bad day that changed everything.
I had a bad day recently. And it changed everything.
As far as I can tell, this event seems to be when he was arrested on June 23rd, 2024. The charges include assault, battery, and abuse of an elder/dependent person. His court appearance is on the 25th of September, which at the time of recording this video has not occurred yet. Generally, his content has shifted to be a little more positive and has spoken out about his recovery from his alcohol abuse, encouraging others to get help like he did. I'm going to leave you today with the lesson that I have learned from researching Harlan. which is entirely my subjective interpretation. Although we have voyeuristically found entertainment through Harlan's online escapades, the revelation that he was most likely suffering from substance abuse issues for all of his actions did make me reflect with a little less judgment. Although his struggles do not excuse him from the extremely offensive things that he's said or done, nor does it excuse him of the allegations mentioned in this video, should they be true, it does make me have a shred of sympathy for him. We can all sit in smug judgment of Harlan for potentially ruining his own life, but I don't think that's a very productive way to view this story. This is a man who has tragically ignored all of his vices and flaws, instead documenting his self-destructive lifestyle for everyone to see. Don't view Harlan's story with a comfortable distance. Instead, view it as a cautionary tale, a mirror to hold up to your own actions. Although Harlan's case is extreme, we all have flaws that we choose to blissfully ignore. And if you're not careful, you might wake up one day and realize it's your life that is ruined. I'm the Ivory Door. Thank you for watching.
The Ivory Door.